Hey guys, I hope you guys are all having a blessed week and that everything is going well. Today I want to talk about a verse in Paul's letter to the Galatians. Some context behind this letter. This letter is all about getting the gospel right. Paul is writing to the church in Galatia, warning them about the Judaizers, or what he terms in his letter as the circumcision party. And in this group is basically spreading a false gospel, a gospel that's based on justification by works as opposed to justification by faith. Um, and Paul is arguing in his letter that we are not justified by works, but that we are justified by faith alone in Christ. Um, and the verse that I want to talk specifically about is chap- Galatians chapter 2, verse 20. And it reads like this: I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. And the life I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. Wow, what an amazing verse. It's a lot of theology, action packed into this one verse. Um, this verse has really the power to change our lives. It has the power to change our perspectives. It has the power to change how we see ourselves now. That and it really talks about the idea that we have died to our old selves and that we have been born again to our new selves in Christ. Our old selves that has been all about sinning and rebelling against God has been replaced with our new selves, which desires Christ, which desires God, which desires righteousness. And this is what we now seek in our hearts. This is what we are now chasing after. Um, that and I think the premise of this verse is that we is that is that we need Christ. Like there's nothing good in us. We cannot live by ourselves. Living on our own in order to try to get to God our own way is not going to work. In fact, in James chapter 1, verse 15 to 17, James says, do not be deceived, my beloved brothers. Every good gift, every perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of lights, with whom there is no variation or shadow due to change. So that means that every good thing, every good gift, every good thing that we do, every time we love, every time we care for our neighbor, every time we are pursuing righteousness, it's not actually us doing it. It's Christ who's doing it in us. It's Christ who's working, it's God who's working in us to make us be the person that he wants us to be. Um, so I guess the main idea behind this verse is that we should stop living for ourselves. We should stop trying to live on our own. We can't do it. There's no way we can do it. But we can do it when we live for Christ. Because we have been crucified. We have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer us who live inside us, but it's Christ who lives in us. It's Christ who empowers us to grow in righteousness, who helps us grow closer to God. So yeah, if we live this out and we believe it, I believe that it can definitely change our lives. It can definitely change everything for us. It can be a game changer for us in how we face every challenge and every circumstance we face. So I really hope that we would memorize this verse, like recite it any chance we get, like when we wake up, when we take a shower, when we are working out, when we are driving to work, even when we are facing a temptation that we are just stuck on and that we don't know how to stop. That when we face hardships or trials, that we can remember that I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. And the life I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. So, so that's what I just. So as we die to ourselves more and rely on the power of Christ that works within us, our intimacy with God will grow. So it's my prayer and my hope that as we memorize this verse, as we really meditate it and recite it and hold it deep into our hearts, that we can grow closer to God and that we can grow more intimate with Him, and that this will help us throughout all walks of our life. So, guys, thank you so much for watching this message and taking the time to listen. I hope you guys understand and this makes sense. And that we would all remember that we have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer us who live, but it's Christ who lives in us. So have a great day, and God bless you.